These days, trying to find a truly affordable used car feels almost unrealistic. Prices are still inflated from the past few years. Interest rates are higher, insurance premiums keep climbing, and even vehicles that used to be considered safe bets now come packed with technology that can turn a small fender bender into a four-figure repair bill. So here's the real question. What if the smartest car you could buy heading into 2026 isn't the one everyone recommends, but the one nobody is paying attention to? Because while most buyers are fighting over the same popular models, driving their prices up and squeezing every last dollar out of reliable badges, there's another group of vehicles quietly sitting on dealer lots, undervalued, underestimated, and in many cases, mechanically solid. Not because they're flashy, not because they're trending, but because they were ignored. I started digging into repair histories, insurance patterns, and long-term ownership data. I spoke with a shop owner who's been turning wrenches for over 2 decades. He sees what actually breaks at 150,000 miles. He knows which cars keep coming back on tow trucks and which ones just come in for oil changes. And a pattern started to appear. Some of the cheapest cars on the market right now aren't risky at all. They're just misunderstood. In a market where hype drives price more than durability, boring can become a financial advantage, and that changes everything. Number 4. Buick Regal GS. This one surprises people. On paper, it looks like something you'd scroll past without thinking twice. The Buick badge alone turns away a lot of younger buyers, which is exactly why these trade in the $15,000 to $20,000 range, while comparable European sports sedans can push past $30,000. Most people don't realize what this car actually is. The Regal GS was developed alongside Opel in Germany and shares its roots with the Opel insignia. That means European chassis tuning, tight suspension geometry, and driving dynamics that feel far more refined than the badge suggests. Now here's where the ownership math gets interesting. Instead of a high-strung turbo engine, later models use GM's naturally aspirated 3.6-liter V6. By 2018 and beyond, earlier timing chain concerns had largely been resolved. The LGX V6 has been used across multiple GM platforms in high volumes. It's proven, straightforward, and not overloaded with boost or exotic components. From an insurance standpoint, it doesn't carry the same risk profile as German luxury rivals. It's not a major theft target. Parts are widely available through GM's network. Repair severity tends to be more predictable because you're not dealing with brand-exclusive specialty components. All-wheel drive models use an 8-speed automatic sourced from Aisin, a supplier known for long-term durability. That mix, German chassis, proven GM V6, and a solid transmission, creates a balance most buyers never notice. Heading into 2026, as turbocharged engines and mild hybrid systems become more complex and expensive to maintain, a naturally aspirated V6 sports sedan with mature engineering stands out. The Regal GS isn't cheap because it's flawed. It's cheap because it's misunderstood. Number 3. Mazda 3. On paper, this looks like a smart, sensible compact. Nothing flashy, nothing controversial, just another small sedan or hatch competing with the usual household names. And that's exactly why most buyers assume it should cost the same as its biggest rivals. But it doesn't. The third-generation Mazda 3, especially from 2014 through 2018, often sells for thousands less than comparable Civics and Corollas. That price gap makes people suspicious. It feels like there has to be a catch. There isn't. While much of the compact segment shifted towards small turbocharged engines paired with continuously variable transmissions, Mazda took a different path. The 2.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder in these cars is part of Mazda's Sky Active lineup. No turbocharger, no complicated boost control systems, just high compression, direct injection, and careful engineering. And then there's the transmission. Instead of relying on a CVT, Mazda used a conventional 6-speed automatic. But it's not old school in a bad way. The torque converter locks up quickly after takeoff, which reduces internal slip. Less slip means less heat. Less heat means less long-term wear. From a mechanical standpoint, that's a quiet durability advantage most drivers never think about. Reliability surveys have consistently placed these model years near the top of the compact class for powertrain dependability. Shops often report seeing them come in for routine maintenance rather than major failures. That matters to insurers, too. Lower claim frequency for catastrophic transmission or turbo repairs keeps overall ownership risk predictable. Fuel economy stays competitive without forced induction, and it runs on regular fuel. No premium requirement, no turbo-related oil consumption concerns as mileage climbs. As we move deeper into 2026, the cost of replacing advanced CVTs and small turbo systems continues to rise. Labor rates aren't going down. Software-dependent components aren't getting simpler. A straightforward engine and traditional automatic begin to look less basic and more strategic. The Mazda 3 isn't discounted because it's weak. It's discounted because it doesn't carry the brand hype of its rivals. Number 2. Mazda 6. This one feels almost too normal to be a standout. It's a mid-size sedan in a world that barely pays attention to sedans anymore. On paper, it competes directly with the Camry and Accord. Smooth ride, clean styling, practical size. Nothing extreme. And yet it consistently trades for thousands less. Most buyers assume the lower price means compromise, but when you look at long-term ownership patterns, the picture changes. The 2015 to 2017 Mazda 6 models use a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter Sky-Active 4-cylinder paired with a conventional 6-speed automatic. No CVT, no dual-clutch system, no small turbo constantly operating under boost. Just a straightforward engine and a traditional transmission designed for steady, predictable use. Independent reliability surveys have rated this generation strongly for powertrain durability. Many high-mileage examples show minimal mechanical drama beyond routine wear items. From an insurance standpoint, that matters. Fewer catastrophic transmission claims, no turbocharger replacement trends, lower overall repair severity compared to some competitors that adopted more complex drivetrains. There's also a manufacturing detail that serious buyers notice. Many 2015 to 2017 models were built in Mazda Kofu plant in Japan, identifiable by VINs starting with J. That facility has a long-standing reputation for tight quality control. In 2018, Mazda introduced cylinder deactivation to improve fuel economy. It functions well, but it adds additional moving components and hydraulic systems. The earlier models avoid that complexity entirely. As labor rates rise and modern engines pack in more efficiency-driven hardware, simpler naturally aspirated designs often age more predictably. Meanwhile, depreciation continues to keep the Mazda 6 priced well below its better-known rivals. It isn't cheap because it's weak. It's cheap because buyers default to familiar badges. And if that price gap feels significant, the final car shows what happens when an entire segment gets overlooked for years. Number 1. Toyota Avalon. This is the one that catches almost everyone off guard. It's the car experienced mechanics quietly recommend when someone says, "I just want something that won't cause problems." And yet, it's routinely overlooked. On paper, it's just a full-size sedan, conservative styling, comfortable ride, nothing flashy. The typical used example was owned by someone older, driven gently, and serviced on schedule. That image alone keeps younger buyers away and pushes prices down. But underneath, the fourth-generation Avalon shares its platform and drivetrain with the Lexus ES350. Same 3.5-liter V6, same 6-speed automatic, same fundamental Toyota engineering. The engine is the 2GR FE V6, one of Toyota's longest-running and most widely proven power plants. It uses a timing chain, not a belt. No turbochargers, no high-strung boost, just a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder that has powered millions of vehicles over nearly 2 decades. From an insurance standpoint, it's about as low risk as a full-size sedan gets. Theft rates are modest, repair severity is predictable, parts are widely available because the drivetrain is shared across multiple Toyota and Lexus models. That platform sharing keeps long-term maintenance costs stable. Here's where the math becomes almost unfair. A mid-2010s Avalon often sells for thousands less than a comparable Lexus ES350, despite being mechanically identical. In some markets, it even undercuts similar V6 Camry models while offering more space and features. You're paying less for the same core reliability simply because of badge perception. Routine maintenance tends to be straightforward. Brake service, fluid changes, occasional wear items, nothing exotic. And because many of these cars were owned by conservative drivers, mileage doesn't tell the full story. A well-maintained example with 60,000 to 80,000 miles can feel barely broken in. As newer vehicles move toward turbocharged engines, hybrid complexity, and increasingly software-dependent systems, a naturally aspirated V6 sedan with mature engineering becomes rare. Labor rates are rising, advanced electronics are getting more expensive to diagnose. Simpler designs age more predictably in that environment. The Avalon isn't undervalued because it lacks quality. It's undervalued because people stopped looking at full-size sedans. And when you combine proven engineering, lower depreciation, and steady insurance profiles, it quietly becomes one of the strongest long-term ownership plays in today's used market.